Welcome back to the Gentleman's Gazette and our live stream. Yes, this is a live stream. Last time we did it, we got lots of questions like, is this live? The quality is so good. And thanks to Chris and our internet speed and new gear, we can bring you a live stream experience that looks very much like a real video. So you'll be seeing more of those live streams going forward from us. And today I wanted to have this live stream because there's a bunch of things new and I just wanted to share it with you. First of all, let me show you our YouTube 1 million play button. It's just something that we got only thanks to you. Without any one of you subscribing, we would not have gotten this thing. So we'll have to find a place for it. I don't know, do you want it in the studio so it's visible, or should we just put it in the office or on our toilet? Maybe let us know in the comments. Other than that, a new thing that we've been working on for quite a while is our shop. We moved it from gentlemansgazette.com to shop.gentlemansgazette.com. So that's where you can find it now. We try to improve the user experience, and we're still working out some kinks. For example, PayPal is having a bunch of issues. They had an update, and just the way things process, it's a pain. So I think right now, most people can just check out with credit card. We're working hard behind the scenes, and there's always something going on. Rest assured, your payment information is secure. That is our utmost concern, and we take it always very seriously. But e-commerce can be rather complex, believe it or not. Yes, so that aside, with COVID, obviously, we had a hard time just getting stuff, right? I mean, a lot of people had supply chain issues, and we were included in that. We had planned to launch our new boutonnieres. So I think we added 44 new boutonniere flowers, and you can check them out in our shop. We have, like, all sorts of colors and sizes, like smaller ones like these, or just bigger ones like these, for example. Or, medium-sized ones in different colors and styles. We try to kind of be a little more well-rounded and have different things in there, things that you may not have been familiar with, all based on natural flowers, just so you can see them. And of course, we try to take some great pictures outside. So Chris is gonna show you some stuff, I hope, on the screen, so you can not just see me talking, holding up some flowers from afar, but actually seeing things. As you know, these things are handmade in Germany. All natural materials, silk that is starched, and they're all hand-dyed. All starts at like white fabric, and then we'll this one is also very nice. This is made of cotton velvet that is starched. It's beautiful. It has this kind of texture, like a flower in that sense. So pretty cool. Now today, of course, it's about you and all the questions you have, and I'm happy to answer them. I have a little tablet here so I can see your questions with the team behind the scenes, Jack and Preston and Nathan. They're all sitting there. They may reply to you quickly, and then I have questions here so I can just, yeah. Apparently, someone says the music is too loud or something. I don't know. Chris is working here behind the scenes. So, yeah. One question here was like, what should I wear with a cornflower boutonniere? The cornflower boutonniere is this boutonniere, and we have it in a bunch of different colors. So the classic one, the size-wise, it's kind of in between. You can see this is small, this is a little bigger, and then you'll have something like this, right? Quite a size difference. So because it's in the middle, you can easily wear it with most lapels, unless they're maybe super skinny, but like a regular lapel, notched or peaked, works just fine. Color-wise, I like boutonnieres that are either contrasting to my outfit and add a dash. For example, here I have tones of gray, right, blue, a little bit of white and red. Pocket Square 2 has kind of shades of, off-white or cream with like some more darkish blues. So I liked having another blue, and it's obviously not the same blue, but I could have maybe done this one here, right? So when you put together an outfit in terms of colors, you want to try to pick up a color that's already in your outfit. Could be in your socks, or you could go the other way and say, I'm going to get something contrasting. Or let's say if you have a white shirt, maybe the cornflower with white and pink works, right? And then maybe if you have a pink in a tie or in a pocket square or in your socks, you kind of tie it all together. That being said, we have videos where we did very specific, combination tips and how you can approach things. And I don't want to just regurgitate all that same stuff. You can just go and check it out at a different point in time because we already do that. Next up is, do you actually wear your classic menswear on a daily basis? Well, classic, right? I mean, I wear classic things. Now during the pandemic, when I was at home, right, I would wear seersucker pants or seersucker shorts. They're still classic in a way, but they may be more casual, right? I wear polo shirts. You won't see me wearing sweatpants and a hoodie, right? For me, like a polo shirt and shorts is kind of about as casual as I get. That being said, if I go to a pool, we have this nice wading pool at the end of the block. I walk there in my flip-flops and my swim trunks. And for my swim trunks, I have some Polo Ralph Lauren ones. They're like striped, right? More like preppy stuff, or like checks, or, micro patterns, the way you would find on a tie or a paisley, right? So I try to bring that menswear influence in there too. But I try to wear what makes sense for the situation I'm in. For example, every morning, right, I bike my daughter to school. So she's sitting in the back on my bike, and I have a pair of shorts and a polo shirt and a bike helmet, right, and some boat shoes, because that's what I'm comfortable in. You don't see me running around in like tennis shoes, for example. I really have those reserved only for exercise activities. Other than that, I like to dress up, and I look forward to being able to dress up more again. But I also found out during COVID that notion of only dressing up for oneself, and if I'd be on an island, I'd wear black tie every night, is not true for me. Does a pink flower fit a purple suit well? Dark purple. Well, dark purple suit is already really bright. So yeah, having a bit of a contrast can help. But I would maybe say, maybe choose something small in a faint pink, not something, big in this one, because otherwise it's over the top. This would be better maybe with something more navy or a little more conservative. Are opera pumps appropriate for black tie event? It's very classy and elegant. Well, you obviously have an opinion already, and we have a black tie guide, which is the most comprehensive black tie guide that we have. So you'll find the answer there. Short answer is yes, you can, and there's ways to do it with white tie and black tie. So check out that guide, and I'm sure someone's going to share the link with you. But you can also just search on our site, and you'll find it. How to wear a straw hat without being called a pagodeiro here in Brazil? Well, you can only control what you do, right? What other people say is another matter. What I found is once you dress up in the beginning, people notice. It's like, oh, what are you wearing, right? And then after a while, they recognize you as the man that is well dressed. So if you're going to the grocery shop after the gym, they may say, what's going on? You're not wearing your nice suit. So there's that transition period where people don't know you. But once you've been wearing things for a while and you've consciously come to be really comfortable and confident wearing it, I think that changes. Of course, if you go to a different city or to a place, you live in a big city where there's a lot of people who've never seen you before and likely will not see you again in the next decade, then you may get comments, you may get looks, and at that point, I hope you've mustered the confidence that you can just go along. And we did a video about how to dress up when others don't, and how to deal with the comments and all of that. So please check out that one. I think that can be quite helpful. I was wondering whether Formalwear products will become available for EU customers. Right now, delivery is north of $100 to send even a small boutonniere. Well, let me explain, right? First of all, Formalwear products are available worldwide, with the exception of some countries like Russia or Nigeria, because there's lots of fraud going on and we had nothing but issues. That being said, when you buy something for $325 or more in our shop, we ship directly to you free of charge internationally. Now, every country has different regulations around duties and customs, and frankly, we can't keep track of all of that. We've tried with launching our new shop to implement a solution where you'd be able to automatically pay the duties and customs right on our page, so the package would be shipped directly straight to you. There was a problem with the software, it caused lots of other issues, so we weren't able to implement that, right? Now, that is one side of things. When you order, let's say, just one boutonniere, right, and it's a $35 boutonniere or $40 boutonniere, and you want to ship it to the EU, yes, that might be cost prohibitive if you ship it directly from us to you. Why? Well, we're a small business. We don't get the rates Amazon does. And even for Amazon, it would be costly to probably $20, $30 to ship the flower from here to there. Now, what we can do, and what lots of international customers do who are not willing to spend more than $325, is that you sign up with a service called myus.com. And there are other forwarding services. That's just one that I know a lot of people have been using and they've been happy with. We're not affiliated with them, but we know it works. So basically, you sign up with an account there, they give you an address. Then you go to our shop, you ship it to them, and they forward it to you. And for a little item, they can ship stuff for like $15. They have incredibly low rates. And we try to integrate our shop with them directly so we could do that. The problem was, then people would think, we are in charge in shipping stuff, but things would be shipped to Florida first and from there somewhere else. And during Christmas, sometimes it would take quite a while. So we didn't want to take on that risk. But if someone wants that stuff, you can go there. You get your stuff. It may take a little while over big holidays, but generally it's really fast and reliable. And that's the way that I would order from our shop if I was in the EU or outside the EU and I did not want to spend $325. If you're spending $325, we ship it to you with like FedEx, right? There's signature, there's tracking, it's like proper FedEx. It's not like USPS or something. If you go through My US, you can select what you want. The cheapest option, maybe FedEx or DHL or whatever. It depends on what country you're in. Sven, when were you in Germany last? Before the pandemic started, so that was like 2019 for Christmas. Can I wear white flower in a black tie event? Absolutely, yes. Hello, long-time follower. Do you have a recommendation for pimples when you shave? It hurts quite a bit. Yes, it does hurt, and we actually did a video about that already. Basically, when you get pimples, you likely have sensitive skin, and there can be a few different issues with it, right? Maybe your blades are not sharp enough. And we have an extensive shaving guide where we walk you through that too, but that specific issue I think we already discussed in a different video. Have you thought of releasing your bow ties in different sizes? I love your designs, but they're smallish for my face. I tend to go with 2.5 width. So my understanding is that you want bow ties taller this way, correct? Yes, I could see us doing that, especially since, the bow tie I'm wearing today is kind of the size of many patterned bow ties, right? It's that kind of diamond shape, and I chose it because it's a little more unique, if you will. But yeah, we've definitely played around with doing different things. We brought in an operations manager simply because I realized I was just doing way too many things and the whole new product development was slowed down. Now with Nathan on board, our plan is to launch a lot more products, new categories, and with our new shop, it should be great. You'll see a lot of stuff coming, including line extensions like larger bow ties or just other stuff. For example, we also had a bunch of new socks I don't know if you're familiar, we have these shadow stripe socks, but I always like that concept of the two tones, because once you have the two tones, it makes it super easy to combine, because, you know, no matter if let's say you have this Prussian blue pair of socks, right, with that light blue and dark blue, you can wear with gray, you can wear with navy, you can wear with any type of blue. Rather a pure solid sock, you just have something that never quite matches. So I wanted that effect in a solid sock, so we call them the two-tone solids. And because of that, we also redid our ebook, How to Pair Shoes, Socks, and Pants. And if you haven't already seen it, to kind of celebrate you guys supporting us, getting to 1 million subscribers, us having our new shop, and all the boutonnieres and all the new stuff and the socks, decided to do a giveaway. Yes, giveaway. If you've been following us, we don't have many giveaways. So this is special. We're giving away $1,000 worth of gift cards to the Formalwear shop, so you can pick whatever you want. Basically 5 prizes, 1 prize per person. You can't have other ones. All of our employees and their relatives are not allowed to participate. The link is underneath the video, and I'm sure Chris is showing you right now how it works. Basically, there are entries, right? You can log in with your Google account or Instagram, so you don't have to fill out your name and email. It just pulls all that. Then you can participate in different ways, right? You can sign up for a newsletter that is free and you can cancel later on, but we try to keep it really informative and valuable, and so that you get all of our content updates and sometimes maybe news about a shop, but we try to keep it, you know, not overwhelming. So typically we send about 2 emails a week. And then, you know, you can visit a few pages that we have. You can also share with your friends. Like, you can share with up to 10 friends and it gives you 20 credits. So the more you share, the higher the likelihood of you winning. Another good way to win is to download our ebook, How to Pair Shoes, Socks, and Pants, and you just click on there and you go follow the link and you go to our shop, and there you can buy this ebook. It's $0. You just fill out your information, you sign up, you check out, and then shortly thereafter you should receive an email in your inbox with download links. If you purchase something else, you can also download it right away from the shop backend from your account. If you don't, that option is not available unless someone approves you. That's why we send it to you right away via email. They're not attachments. The files are too big. You just have to click and download them from there. And then you have to come back to the giveaway and tell us how many pages are there in order to participate. We want to make sure that you're actually downloading the ebook if your entries count towards this contest. How are the winners going to be determined? Frankly, completely randomly, based on your entries, right? Let's say you have 60 entries. You're 60 more likely to win than someone else who just has 1 entry. But that being said, you know, based on how things work, the person with just 1 entry could win. It's just all mathematics. And the platform we use is called Gleam. It's a very well-respected giveaway platform. They have a built-in randomizer that will just pick the winners at the end, and you can come to the same page where you did the giveaway, and it will show you who the winners are. Right. So that's basically it.
600 entries so far.
Okay, so far 600 entries. So keep entering. Giveaway ends July 5th, midnight Central Standard Time. So happy 4th of July. I hope you have some good barbecue or burgers or hot dogs with your family if you're American. If you're not, I hope you still enjoy your summer. Maybe you watch the Euro Cup if you're into soccer, or maybe you just do whatever the heck you like. It's a weekend after all, right? Maybe even you want to check out some boutonnieres now that you can go out again and dress up. We also got a restock and of pocket squares. We also added new pocket squares, very summery ones. And of course, check out our guide about the different socks. Right now, I think we're still stocked for the most part. We're of course trying to order more, but as you know, things have a little slowed down. For example, we ordered some fabric from England, right, and they're shipped to Germany. And in the past, it would take like 2 days or 1 day. Well, now we shipped it June 2nd from England to Germany it's still stuck in customs. It's still not where it's supposed to be. So we have all these additional delays that weren't there before. So thanks Brexit, and thanks COVID. Losing my love for my loud ties. Lots of laughs. Recommended are special ties that are printed in a certain way. Oftentimes they have a matte or blue in the back, which is much more comprehensive. And we even have a full-fledged video just about that, where you'll learn more about the process. We offer the real ancient madder ties in our shop, and you have a bold Prince of Wales check. The classic madder ties have these smallish micro patterns, sometimes also called Macclesfield needs, because Macclesfield in England is traditionally kind of a tie silk printing center in England. So that's what I would recommend you wear with it. Typically they have these like intense yet deep colors, and they're just very nice. Sounds like someone is doing something here. I don't know what it is, to be honest. So if you hear it, I'm sorry. It's alive. We can't control what's going on outside. Should a guy wear hole cuts with jeans? Now hole cuts, because they don't have any seams, can look quite sleek and be more on the formal side. Jeans are, not the most casual thing in the world. That being said, I think you can pull it off depending on how they're patinaed and how they look. Would I wear a black hole-cut Oxford with a pair of jeans? No, I would not. I'd say, go maybe with a derby in brown, right? If you maybe have a, red patinaed hole-cut, maybe you could. Or I think they're better shoes to wear with jeans, and I think we did a video about that and cover that part as well. What's your opinion on wearing polo shirts with jackets and blazers during the summertime? Personally, I think having short-sleeved shirts or short-sleeved polo shirts, wearing one with jackets, is just weird. Because if you have the right sleeve length, right, it now looks, because the shirt is gone or the cuff is gone, it looks like the jacket is almost too short. And then you have sometimes the flimsy polo shirt collar. So I'm not a huge fan of it. If you have a long sleeve polo shirt, I think it can work. Or if you have basically a polo shirt that is cut like a dress shirt with the buttons going all the way down, I think that's probably best in the summertime, because then you can get that piqué fabric that's open weave and more casual and breathable, and combine the best of two worlds. Do you think modern... Oh, it's a motorcycle. Well, I hope they're gone momentarily here. Do you think modern jumper sweaters are too long and baggy? I prefer shorter cut jumpers, especially with high-rise trousers. What are your thoughts? Well, you bring up a good point, and part of the answer is, back in the day, with the high-rise trousers, jumpers wear shorter. Now, if you have a wool sweater or jumper and you want it to be shorter, what you can do is just put it in the dryer a little bit. And generally, I don't say put things in the dryer, but just add a little bit of heat, just put it in there. It's gonna shrink tremendously. What you can then do afterwards, you can spray your sweater with, like, let's say vodka, and then pull it. The vodka will evaporate. But typically, well, one step back. The way I do it, I make my sweater completely wet, soak it in cold water for about 30 minutes until the wool has really soaked up the water. Then I lay it flat on cotton towels and kind of put pressure on it so the water comes out of the sweater, at least in the first stage. Then I spray on vodka, because alcohol evaporates at a much faster rate than water. So if you mix it with the water, it just dries faster. But I leave it on the towel and I pull the areas that I want to be longer. For example, I got this nice Daniel Crémieux cardigan in wool, and it shrunk, right? So I wanted it to be longer in the body and longer in the sleeves. So I just pulled it and I got them in the shape that I wanted them to be. Don't just hang them on a hanger, because then you see the imprints of the hanger and the shoulders, so you don't want to do that. But if you like a shorter jumper, that's exactly how you would do that. Do I think modern jumpers are generally too long? I have a long torso, so for me, they're not oftentimes, but I can see why you're saying that. Do you ever plan to sell any types of hats in a gentleman's Gazette? The plan is to have, Fort Belvedere be a full-fledged gentleman's brand that offers everything regarding the gentleman lifestyle. So hats would be included. That being said, we can't do everything at once, right? We're sadly not Ralph Lauren, and we have to start somewhere. So we internally are sitting together and looking of all the things we could do, what are we going to do next? What are the 3 things we do next? And then once these are done, what is going to come next? I don't think hats are going to be our next 3 things. Why? Well, think about it. There's lots of sizes involved, right? So just for one style of hat, you need probably 10 different sizes to cover everything. It's definitely a smaller market, and we just had a lot in stocking costs. So I think that's something that we'll do a little bit later once we can afford really large stock runs starting a new product line. I'm traveling to Italy next month. I'll be visiting Rome, Venice, and Milan. Any stores I should visit during my trip? Well, yes. There are lots of little great stores. Last time I was in Rome, I visited a place and they had like nice little ties, really kind of hole in the wall spot. There was a place, I can't recall the name from the top of my head right now, where they had really nice Neapolitan handmade shirts and jackets that were made at a tailor quality level. I think we don't have a kind of shop guide on our website because we realized once you do that, you have to update it so often and it's really hard. I think Simon Crompton attempted to do it, so he has a little book, I think, where he talks about good stores to see in Italy. So I refer you there to check that out. You've done several hot weather guides, but temperatures by me get to be over 105 daily. Do the guides still apply, or can I break out some tank tops? 105, that's about 40 degrees Celsius, 40 and a half degrees Celsius. I mean, now I think places in Canada now are at 47 degrees or like 120 degrees Fahrenheit, which is insanely hot. I think temperature alone is not a good indicator because the humidity level is very important. And my dad's from Brazil, so if you're in Brazil close to the equator, it can only be maybe 86, but if the humidity is 98%, boy, you are sweating. Now, I recently saw a brand called Sacco, S-A-C-C-O. In German, the word for a jacket can be Sacco, S-A-K-K-O. And what they did was, the jacket was an open weave fabric, and there was nothing else in there. No interlining, no nothing. And the sleeve everywhere, it was completely unlined and free. So I think in terms of a jacket, this is probably the most warm weather compatible you will ever find. And I think the guy who did it was in Singapore, where it also gets really hot and humid. So he did that. Personally, yes, when it gets really hot and I don't have to wear a jacket because I'm just, casually playing with my daughter, I will take my jacket off for sure, right? Because I don't want to sweat. I don't enjoy sweating through my jacket and everything. But when I was in Naples, for example, I just noticed that, people would wear their navy blazers when it was really hot and in direct sunlight. They just got used to it. And at that point, they had all the sweat stains anyway, so at least the jacket kind of hid those. I'm purchasing some blue suede horsebit loafers, and I want to pair them with stylish outfits. Any outfit ideas please you'd suggest? Well, I think you're going about it the wrong way, right? It's like, think about what do I have and what pair of horsebit loafers would work with what I have, rather than I'm going to buy these loafers, what can I wear with them? We did a guide, I think, on how to pair shoe colors and what you can do with it specifically, so I'd refer you to that. That being said, blue suede are definitely louder summer shoes, so you have a lot fewer options to combine them with. I think they would look great with seersucker, for example. But would I wear one of the navies, something navy, maybe a pair of jeans, maybe, depends on the blue. Yeah, harder. Do you have tips on how to find a good bespoke tailor, and what is your opinion on retailers like Brooks Brothers and Men's Warehouse? Frankly, I just did a bespoke shoe here with a local bespoke shoemaker. To me, when I enter a bespoke relationship, I want to have a relationship with a person doing it, right? I don't just want to, I don't know, if I'm in New York, meet with a traveling tailor and then them going back and sending me a suit and stuff. I'd like to be there. I like to see what they're doing. So to me, having that proximity is extremely important. So that would be my vote to say, look for someone local whose style you like. If you don't have anyone local, then maybe the traveling tailor is your next best option. If money is of no concern, right, you can just say, well, I'm going to fly to Italy, right? I'll have 2 weeks of vacation, I'll get my suit done, and I'll fly back. And then after half a year or whatever I want to go next for my next fitting, I'll fly back. And you may have to do that again and again and again. So cost-wise, that's going to be extremely expensive. Gives you the experience, versus if you go with someone local, even though they may cost a little more maybe, you have to travel, and it depends a bit on what your time is worth. Brooks Brothers, there's some great Brooks Brothers stuff. We did a video, I think, on Brooks Brothers and what we still think is good from them, so refer to that one. Men's Warehouse, personally, I think it's still one of those retailers, that has history, that is around, that help men find something to wear to dress up. So I like that spirit. Would I personally shop at Men's Warehouse? Probably not. I think quality-wise, they have better lines. They also have lower-end lines. I think you can find better stuff. But I know that a lot of menswear enthusiasts, they want to work somewhere in the field. They go to Men's Warehouse because that's in the area, and that's okay. Sometimes you have to deal with the cards you're dealt with. Are you planning an in-person event in the hopefully not too distant future? Yes. We want to build a really strong community, and especially with COVID, we realized that has to be in person. Even before COVID, we've been talking about it, but we didn't have the capacity. We've hired on people, and we're hiring more people to get to a point where we can do that. That being said, we're not event managers, right? But we want to bring in a person of that caliber. We would do it in a very structured way and then offer that. We'd also have to see, what are the price points, what makes sense, what do we offer people. Maybe we can collaborate, right? Bring in tailors and shoemakers and whatnot, so you can come, right? You can buy stuff, but you could also wear your things in a great setting where you're together with other like-minded peers and nerd out about anything gentlemanly or men's clothing related. What kind of events can I wear a purple suit to? It's a dark, elegant purple with a little bit of black on the collar and other areas. Maybe when you go to a cabaret show, or maybe if you go to a karaoke bar. Purple suit is pretty out there, so you have to be very confident. Maybe you're a quirky personality, that it really suits that. Maybe you're an artist, and that's just a way to get noticed. I think it's pretty difficult to wear a purple suit, personally, which is the reason you don't see them very often. Can you provide recommendations for gentlemen age 65 plus who have not yet retired from working? Please provide examples. We have a video about how to dress when you're older, and that applies to you as well. Mistakes to avoid when you are older. I think a big mistake I see older men trying to do is either to dress like they used to, right? A 65-year-old who wears in the US, for example, these 90s slacks, with double pleats who are really wide, the oversized jacket with a low buttoning point, and then these kind of Allen Edmonds tassel loafers, right? That just date you extremely quickly, especially if you pair it with one of those 90s printed white ties. So don't do that. On the flip side, also don't try to be younger than you are and just start, wearing hoodies and Air Jordans, right? That just is also not quite right. So we have specific examples, and I don't want to take up time here explaining to you in 15 minutes what 65 should wear when there's a bunch of other people. But you can check that out. We got you covered. Would you recommend removing liners from a seersucker suit or a blazer that has a summery color? With liners, do you mean like the lining fabric, or do you mean the interlining? I would say removing things is possible. I've seen, like in Naples, people just taking out shoulder pads because, maybe in the 50s they put in shoulder pads and now they don't want shoulder pads, so they just take those out. If you have a light colored fabric and you remove linings and interlinings, then the shape is bad. So I wouldn't remove the interlining at all. And the lining has a purpose, right? Otherwise it's rough, you need to finish it differently. So I wouldn't try to just remove that stuff on an existing garment. If you plan a new garment, you can have it tailored in a way so it's meant to be worn that way, so you don't have like loose threads just showing up on your shirt. Thoughts on Cuban collar shirts? They have a time and a place in a casual wardrobe. I think they can be good. Yeah, it's like, the single piece collar shirts, right? They're like summer shirts, you don't wear them with a tie. Yeah, they're cool collars. Whatever, a Mao collar, for example. I mean, I did have a Mao collar suit as my very first suit when I graduated from high school. I've sold it, I haven't bought another one ever since. So depends on who you are, where you're at, and how casual you like things to be. Should I wear a charcoal blue clan check trousers with gray sport coat, burgundy shoes, and cocktail attire wedding? Yeah, that's a very specific question. We talk about cocktail attire, and it all depends on what you look like. And so these individual questions are hard to answer here because no one else is interested in them really. Any recommendations for custom suits in the Twin Cities area? As far as I know, there is not a true, real bespoke tailor in the Twin Cities area that actually, makes the pattern and cuts it. There are places like Top Shelf who, do made to measure, or there is like the King Brothers who have, who say it's a bespoke thing, but the thing is made in China, right? They're not the tailors. Yes, you get an individual pattern, but depends on what you want, right? If you want a true bespoke thing, I'm not aware of anything. Would be awesome to have them here. We have bespoke shoemakers, like true bespoke shoemakers who make everything from start to finish, but not tailors. What's the most casual, least formal setting where cufflinks can be worn? I mean, if it's part of your style and you wear cufflinks to everything, you can pretty much wear them whenever you want. Personally, I'd say I've worn them with tweed jackets, even though traditionally that was a sporting garment, so you not have that. I still like the feel and the look of it, and overall, my style is more formal than most people's out there, so I can get away with it. There's no hard and fast answer there. Scott donated $5 to us. Thank you very much. I wear a suit every day, but I suffer in this California heat. Evidence in formal business attire for the 100+ Fahrenheit days. I mentioned this Sacco brand. I think they're only jackets. I don't think they're full suits, but yeah, I would say get something custom made that is unlined, and specifically choose a lightweight fabric that is really open pore so you feel every single breeze. For example, here I'm wearing a Fresco jacket. That's a wool that is really nice. Solaro, for example, was defined for hot weather. I don't find it to be that breathable. I know Vitale Barbaris Canonico has ranges that are extremely lightweight and open pore. Other weavers do too. Typically in a off the rack garment, they don't make them completely unlined and the way you want it in that fabric. So I would really recommend you do that. Also, you can get shirt fabric that looks a bit like a piqué fabric that is really open pore. They're really popular in Italy. I haven't seen those fabrics on the American market yet. That could be something that really keeps you cool. Then, skip the tie. Like a bow tie will keep you cooler than the tie because the tie just covers your front here. Single-breasted jackets and maybe, very lightweight socks. Those would be my options for, business attire if you have to stick to wearing the suit and there's no other option. About your gold monkey links for studs because I love her in Texas to the opera. Could I wear them to a black tie wedding if I'm not the groom, or would it draw too much attention to myself? I mean, if the wedding is a casual wedding in the countryside where the groom is wearing just a shirt, then yes, it would be inappropriate. If it's a black tie wedding, by all means, go ahead and wear the studs. You just want to make sure that you're not trying to outdress the bride and the groom because it's their day. Which wristwatches would you recommend? Oh my goodness. We're actually working on different guides about that, which are actually put together by a watch lover. I'm not a huge watch lover, right? I like rectangular designs. I like the JLC Reverso watches, for example, right? I like the Cartier tank watches. I think they're very classic. We did a piece on the the Rolex Submariner, like sports watch, stainless steel. If you're into that, that's certainly like something that you can buy. It doesn't lose the value. But if you want to be very unique, you want a watch that not everyone else wears, then it becomes a little more interesting. So stay tuned for some more guides and guidance on that. Can I wear a silk shantung bow tie or necktie to a business formal suit? Absolutely, especially these days. Like there was a time when kind of those casual textures would not be considered to be appropriate, but look around you today, right? I mean, if you wear a pinstripe suit, you're gonna be better dressed than most people. Can you wear it with a knit tie? Yes, you can. I mean, you can wear anything really. As long as you do it with confidence, I think you will still look sharp. And shantung, yeah, I love it because it, even if you have a more formal jacket or something that you think is a little more formal, it just casualizes it a bit, but at the same time, you still keep that traditional style and look. How much Portuguese do you speak, Rafaela? Só pouquinho. Meu pai é brasileiro. Yeah, I spoke fluently up until I was 4 years old, and it was like, I'm only going to speak German now. And so sadly, my dad, he stopped talking to me. I've taken some Portuguese courses in, college and worked with like Duolingo, the app. I haven't been in Brazil for a while. Hopefully, we can go maybe this year or next year. I'd love to go again, introduce my family to the country. And when I'm there, for a while, I'll pick it up. I think if I'd be there for 3 months, I'd probably be quite fluent again. I can still read a lot and understand a lot because I also learned French in school. But yeah, if you get me to Brazil now, I can get around. I can order stuff. Could I have a highbrow political science discussion? Probably not. Could you make a video on Timex watches? We'll put it on the content list of potential things to do. Having recently bought my first signet ring, I'm wondering if, as an everywhere supporter of them, if you have any tips on care maintenance for someone getting into ring wearing. Frankly, the only thing I've noticed with rings is that in the summer, my fingers are a little fatter than during the winter. So sometimes, having rings in different sizes is nice, so you can just get something that's comfortable and doesn't fall off depending on the season you're in. In terms of maintenance, you don't need to polish them generally. I mean, if you have silver rings, and they're tarnished and you don't like that, then yes, go ahead and polish them. Gold, if it's, a higher carat, gold, it doesn't really tarnish that much, so it shouldn't be a problem. Otherwise, yeah, you just take a polishing paste and rub on it. If it's like a plated ring, don't be too aggressive because eventually you can just rub off the gold and the base metal comes up underneath of it. So don't do that. And then, if I don't know, you have like a tourmaline or whatever, right? And you work in a barware with lots of acid, maybe take it off, right? Don't go gardening with your nice rings on. Just take it off unless you want them to be scuffed up. But otherwise, they're pretty maintenance free. I really love 20s and 30s fashion suits without lapels, but I'm only 165 centimeters tall. Let me think. That's about 18 centimeters less than me, so that's about it's about 7 inches shorter, so that would get you to about 5'5". How much should be the width of my suit lapel? There's a guy out there by the name of The Modest Man, and he talks he's shorter too, and he talks about how you can optimize the length for you, right? If you go back to the 30s. So even shorter men would wear these suits and they still looked good in them. So it's a matter of proportion. Where's your buttoning point? You know, how much do you show of your legs? I think lapel size also has something to do with your head size. If you have this really small head, having lapels in it that almost reach to your shoulders can just be very imposing and over the top. If you like the 30s style, you can get them a little wider. Just make sure it's proportional overall. For example, with our ties, right? We make ties for short men, and they're slimmer, but the cutting angle is the same as on the larger ties. So if you're a shorter guy, it looks pretty much the same. It's just slimmed down a little bit. Oh, Jacob Reitnauer sent us $5. Thank you, Jacob. Much appreciated. What are the best brands of suits to buy off of eBay? I'm trying to save money, but want good quality. I'm also a small guy, size 35, jacket 28 inseam. Okay, there is a video I did. I think it's titled How to Get 80% Off Every Time. And I walk you through my entire process, step by step, of what I do on eBay on a low budget and how I buy things. In that post on our website, we also list all the brands that I think are really good quality. When you shop on eBay, there's no point in shopping for Indochino suits or Spear & McKay, which are lower priced, right? You can go all in and you can search for, Chiton and Attolini and Isaia and Caraceni, right? These more expensive brands, Ralph Lauren Purple Label, for example, because the cost already is quite low. Sometimes you can also find, Henry Poole bespoke suits or interesting jackets that you can find for very, very little money because people don't know about those small tailors, but they're really, really good quality, right? I think there was like the Edgar Pomeroy, it's a pretty much unknown tailor from, I think, Atlanta or somewhere in the South. He's known locally, but if you sell a suit on eBay, you probably pay $100, $200 tops for, a hand-made suit. Now, with bespoke suits, the problem obviously is, the person may have imperfections. It's not like an off-the-wear size where well, the right sleeve is the same length as the left sleeve. So in the beginning, I would try to buy from sellers where you can return things until you know exactly what brand and what size works for you, and then you distinctly go there and buy that. Because of your particular size, where you're smaller, right? You want to make sure to find a brand that offers that size and that it's not too long. Because changing the length of a jacket is really difficult because, the pockets are cut in a certain way. So if you just cut off a little bit, the proportions just look off. So go check out the video and have all the brands listed on the website. Are flat caps good to wear all year round or not? Depends on where you live, right? I think if you're wearing your flat cap when it's really hot outside, I would find it uncomfortable. I'd sweat and get zits all over my forehead, so no. Do you make longer knit ties at Fort Belvedere? I haven't seen them there. I need 63 inches. I'm 6'4". At the moment, we do not offer longer knit ties. Could be something that we're looking into. I know sometimes people try to do custom knit ties in a way, but that can be tricky too. We'll try to offer them. One thing I've noticed with silk, and I mentioned it with natural fibers, if you take something and let it hang, or you pull it and you make it like you steam it for a while, you can make them longer than they were originally. Would you ever consider doing a home or office tour? Yes, I think I would. Has to be the right kind of circumstances. I think there's a lot of, what call it like wealth porn around out there on the internet. Lots of drama and look at my life. And I think one of the issues today with social media is, right, that people watch all these other people and they think, wow, these people have these amazing lives, and I'm stuck here behind my desk doing this job, right? And then as a consequence, you feel bad and you feel shitty and you feel unimportant. When in reality, the other people are just, trying to show off, maybe going to credit card debt to appear like living this amazing life when in fact they don't. And then, you know, you maybe will go in and next time you do something that's cool, portray your life as being that lifestyle all day, every day. So I just personally don't want to participate in that. I don't like that. To me, it's very showy. And I understand those things can be popular because people are interested in, you know, drama and what's going on behind the scenes. But I still want to keep my life somewhat normal and private. And yes, I share things that I do, but yeah, I'm not so inclined to produce, you know, highly produced videos of me driving in my Rolls-Royce limousines and my sports cars and, you know, go eating at Salt Bay and spending 17 grand on a dinner every day. Yeah, just not my style. Thoughts on linen socks? Personally, I try to avoid the sockless look, but I sometimes find cotton socks too hot in the summer. Do you think linen socks as a good middle ground? Well, if you find your socks too hot, the question is not the material per se, but also the weave and how fine they are. Typically, more expensive socks are finer and thinner, so an extremely fine silk sock will probably wear much cooler than a thicker cotton sock or even a linen sock. Linen is not a material I find too often in socks. It can be very rough, I mean, it can be very durable, but there are linen blend socks out there. I don't think there's 100% linen sock out there. I mean, I've not seen that. I wouldn't expect it to be there. And if your goal is to be cool in the summer, just invest in finer socks that are thinner. When wearing a bow tie, do you prefer a button down or a spread collar? I don't like the button down usually. I mean, and normally they're covered up by the bow tie anyways, so it might work. I also don't want a super spread collar, even though, you know, the bow tie hides a lot of it. So sometimes I want to wear this shirt with this bow tie, and it happens to have a wider spread collar. You can still wear it. It's fine. Ultimately, it's not that important because the bow tie really covers up most of it. Can a safari suit be done in a modern wardrobe? Yes, absolutely. I think, you know, in recent years, the safari jacket, the safari suit, the overshirt, all that stuff that's a little more casual has become more popular, and that's a good thing. And by the way, if you're just joining now, we have a giveaway going on. You can get there from underneath the video. It's open until the end of day Monday, Central Standard Time. You just have to fill out a few entries, and we're giving away gift cards worth $1,000 overall. So yeah, please participate. If that's of interest to you, of course. If not, then don't. Leave it to others. Can you tell us more about the whiskeys you have in your background? Anything you would recommend for neat sipping? Sure, let's look. Okay, whiskeys. This is a Maker's Mark 46. I actually got that bottle from Bill Samuels, who is part of the owner family of Maker's Mark. I was at his house, and he even gave me another bottle that was signed. This one here is Tom's Distilling Town. I think it comes from the South. Yeah, it's from Missouri. It's a really cool Art Deco bottle, which is why I put it here. It was given to me by a bourbon-loving friend. I have more and different ones downstairs. Over the pandemic, I really honed in on my mixing skills, so I bought a lot more unusual liqueurs, you know, like crème de violette, right, or different Amaros, or Benedictine, or Chartreuse, and so you can just have different cocktails. It's not just always Manhattan, old-fashioned, and the usual suspects. Which umbrella maker is better, Brig or Francesco Maglia? You know, it's like asking, well, what's better, a Ferrari or a McLaren, right? I mean, they're both amazing umbrellas in the whole scheme of things. I've visited Francesco Maglia. I've been to the Brig store. I mean, they're both great umbrellas. One is more British. Personally, if I had to choose, I'd probably go with Maglia because they have more, I think, options. They're a little more expressive. Brig is a little more British, but maybe that's what you like. you can't go wrong with either of them. Just keep in mind that people will steal those things. Definitely happened to me before. You go somewhere in a store, you put it down, people take them. Malia also has that mechanism. I have one of those where you can kind of open it up and sit on it. I think it was originally designed for hunting, but you know, if you go to an art gallery, you can bring that. Pretty cool little feature. Any specific brand recommendations for French cuffed shirts? You know, pretty much any shirt brand has French cuffed shirts. If you're looking for like value recommendations, I think in terms of a fit off the rack, Spear and McKay can have very inexpensive shirts. They don't have many French cuff shirts, they really just have a few, but they have, I think, slim and contemporary and sometimes even a third fit option. And what I like about them is they have different sleeve lengths, right? So let's say you're at a 15.5, you can get like a 34, 35, or 36 sleeve length, and maybe even more, which I think is pretty cool, especially if you have longer arms like me. You know, I like a 36 length. I don't like the shorter sleeves, and they're pretty inexpensive. Otherwise, if you can afford to go with a custom shirt, and today you have all of these online custom shirt makers where you can pick the fabric and the interlining and the exact style, I think that's a really great option. What kind of formal shoes should I wear for work when I'm on my feet and walking a lot? Well, well-fitting ones would be the number one answer. I think different brands also offer different options in terms of interlining. Sometimes there's a bit of foam in there. I don't know if it's the true insole from a shovel. Sometimes they put a lining on top that can help. I found that walking all day, Goodyear welted with its cork insert is more comfortable than like a Blake Rapid where it's just leather and it's thinner. You can sometimes also get like a certain insole, right? If there's space for it, if you really want that more cushy feel. I've also noticed that now if I, let's say go outside and run on a hard surface like concrete, I get like pain in my foot and joints. So I don't want to do that, right? So I pay attention to how comfortable are they, how cushy are they in the area where I may have a foot sensitivity or it would hurt. Otherwise, in terms of, if I travel a lot, I'd get loafers because they're easy to put on and off. But if you have a slim heel like I do, finding loafers off the rack can be really difficult because they just don't fit right. And they come off and they slip out, and that's frustrating. Who makes the best Oxford cloth button down? I think if you want the, American Oxford cloth button down that like Brooks Brothers used to make, right? Vintage Brooks Brothers is probably pretty good up there, pretty iconic. I think if you want a modern one, new one, Mercer and Sons do them. They have kind of a special thing where it's not quite custom, but you can say, for example, I want the body of a 16.5 shirt, but my collar is supposed to be 15 and I want this length. And they have like heavy hard-wearing fabrics. I think they offer shell buttons. They also have plastic buttons, which I'm not a huge fan of, but it's kind of the quintessential Oxford cloth button down. We did a video about it and talked about it, so you can look at it, see if you like it yourself. Any idea when a dark navy grand towel will be back in stock? Again, issue with supply chain. We have the fabrics, they're being made right now. I hope that, in 5-6 weeks we have them, but, I don't know with customs and FedEx and all that stuff, so don't nail me, but I hope in 5 weeks we have them in a shop. Is Cerruti a good brand for suits? It's a hard question. I actually haven't tried any of the recent offerings myself, so I'd have to lie. I mean, they always had good fabric, so you won't get shitty fabric from their suits, I'm pretty sure. As far as what they're made and if they're good, I can't say. What thoughts on Armani brand? Is it outdated? I think Armani is still around. I just read the other day that he's planning on, handing on the reins to someone else. He's certainly iconic in the fashion industry. I always felt like you paid a lot for what you got, and I don't think that has changed. So Armani, for me personally, I don't buy it. I don't buy it used or anything. It's just, I don't like it. What cars do you like to drive? I heard you enjoyed driving. Yeah, I never thought of myself as a car guy until I first drove like faster cars. Then of course it was like, wow, I can drive this Ferrari and this McLaren and this Lamborghini. Then you drive those and they're nice sounding cars and it's exhilarating. But then I realized, I don't really know how to drive these cars the way they're meant to be driven. So now I'm looking at going to one of those race camps where, go on a track for 2 days and with driving instructors, sitting next to you, really teaching you how to drive. So there's one from Porsche, it's like, I think in Birmingham, Alabama at the Barber Motor Park. And I want to do it there. I know like BMW has M2, with their M4s and they're like, 600 horsepower M4 competition or whatever machines, or M8, M6, I don't know. And that's cool. But to me, the BMW is, it's kind of a car brand that makes sports or sportsish cars. To me, Porsche, for example, is a race car brand. I know Ferrari also offers these packages, but I think they're a lot more expensive. You spend like 15 to 25 grand to do one of those. I think Porsche, they're more like, the entry-level one is like 3.5, and then you can get racing licenses. So I'm more interested in that now. And then, yeah, would I like to, race a GT3 on a course? Absolutely, but not knowing what I'm doing. And so I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, it's about 1 p.m. here, so we're just gonna wrap up with the final questions. Thoughts on any of the hand-welted brands coming out of China? It looks like they pose serious competition to more traditional English makers. Yes, there's fantastic stuff coming out of China, and I've always said, in our made-in videos, you can get crap from China or you can find sublime things from China. Germany used to have that kind of reputation that maybe China has today, and look how they turn it around, right? Made in Germany today is a good thing, not a bad thing. And yes, what you can get in terms of hand-welted shoes from China, for under $1,000, probably rivals what other people have done. Now, in China, there's a lot of people are really good at copying, but lately I've also seen innovation coming from there. So that's exciting, I think. And yes, there's good stuff coming from China. Don't discount it just because it's from China. From what I've seen, the leathers they use are typically still European. There's a lot of trickiness in tanning and stuff. But tanning is also dirty business, and in China the environmental regulations are lower. So maybe we'll see really high-end leather from there in the near future too. I don't know. I need to buy a suit for a wedding. The wedding will take place in the Botanical Garden, so I was considering a brown suit. Side vents or a single riding vent? Most suits today that are sold have side vents. I'd say go with side vents unless there's a particular reason you like the center vent. You didn't say, is it for your wedding or as a guest? I don't know. Brown suit, yeah, not the traditional choice. We have a whole wedding guide where we talk about what traditional choices are, but even if you don't go traditional, stuff you can do like opening the champagne or all those things. So maybe that's useful to you. Thoughts on a Norfolk style jacket? It's an article of clothing that is too specific. No, we did a piece I think on the Norfolk jacket. I have some, I like the half Norfolks, the one with a belt in the front. You can have it with breeches and +4s and a nice tweed. I think it's a cool item. Maybe we can do a video on it one of these days. With that being said, thank you very much for being on here live. We have a giveaway going on right now that you can get to from underneath. We have 44 new boutonniere flowers, so head over to the shop, check them out. We also have a bunch of cool new two-tone socks. We restocked the shadow stripe socks, so most of the socks should be in stock. We restocked some pocket squares, English printed ones, Italian linen summery ones. So head over there, check it out, and also through the giveaway you'll see we have this new guide, how to combine shoes, socks, and pants. It's really great. We put some cool pictures in, and it gives you specific instructions on what shoes to pair with what color socks, and what pants. And even if you don't have Fort Belvedere socks, you can still use it to guide you and come up with cool color combinations that you might not have thought about, but that still work. With that being said, thank you for being here, and we'll do more of those in the future. We'll also do more on our Patreon channel, which are a little more intimate. We'll go a little more in detail about stuff, but we want to provide that service to our kind of diehard, hardcore fans. So yeah, thank you very much. Have a wonderful 4th of July weekend, and see you soon.